so looking forward to this interview. It's an amazing story, a book by a man who needs very little introduction, Malcolm Drummond, telling a unique story about a mission to save a wetland. But there's a twist here. The campaign led to the discovery of an endangered bird. And might I add, Malcolm, good to have you with us on the show. Beautiful book. We're going to talk about this book of yours in a moment, of Watts and Wetlands. Wetlands we'll talk about in a moment. Why are we talking about Watts? What's the good story of Eskom? I'm sure we all need one. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, indeed. Watts, of course, is the electricity generation. This book is all about a site that crosses the escarpment near Ladysmith from the Free State into KZN. And it was a site that was selected by Eskom to build a pumped storage scheme. Pumped storage, I won't go into the details, but it involves two dams, one at height and one lower down, and water is run from the one to the other through a turbine to generate into the grid. And it so happened that the wetland at the top, the higher one, is a site where a critically endangered bird, the white-winged flufftail, occurs. And there were problems and objections about building the project because of a critically endangered bird and other threatened species as well. And it finally, Eskom formed a partnership with BirdLife South Africa and with our trust. A friend and I started a trust to conserve the white-winged flufftail in '92. Let
me just open the book while we're actually on that shot, team, because Malcolm actually opened it for me earlier, and so we can just show viewers there exactly the bird we're talking about. I'll try and move it into shot for everybody to see. There we go.
Those were actually taken in Ethiopia, where the bird also occurs. And as well as the partnership, which is called the Ingula Partnership, it was started in 2002 and was formalized in 2004. And specifically oversees the environmental management of the site. Furthermore, Eskom also had to buy 8,000 hectares of farmland around the wetland, which is now, and we're very proud of this, it's been proclaimed as a nature reserve, and also a Ramsar site. A Ramsar is a treaty that covers globally important wetlands, and Ingula was proclaimed as a Ramsar site last year, and it's only South Africa's 27th Ramsar site.
And what I find so fascinating about this as well is that we've got a very big corporate, Eskom, which is not getting much love at the moment, let's be honest about it. But still, to this day, it seems like it is still a case of protecting the environment over profits. There are still large organizations doing the good work, which is not being spoken about enough.
Gareth, 100%. You know, I've been working closely with Eskom environmental people for 20 years now, and I cannot tell you the lengths to which they have gone to make this partnership and Ingula work. You've got power generation and conservation hand in hand working together. And it's been a wonderful story.
I always feel like I need to be careful when I ask someone this question, because I'm also within striking distance. Remember, we're social distancing, so careful not to hit me. Is it unfair to say this is very much aimed at the birders of South Africa? Is birders a derogatory term? I don't think so. Hey?
No, I don't think so.
We can get away with it. So birders need to be heading out here to see the kind of incredible work, obviously, and to take a look at the book. So can the members of the public go there, or is it a protected area?
At this stage, it is a nature reserve, but because of constraints and in terms of Eskom's budget with staffing and so on, we're gradually letting people come in, but in organised groups. Because it's a big area, 8,000 hectares, but we are developing it to be accessible. It is accessible, but in a restricted way at the moment.
It needs to be in a restricted way as well, because it's all great to bring attention to an area like Ingula, but then we suddenly commercialise it, people flood, and we actually cause more damage. What kind of, as I say goodbye to you, what kind of timeline do we have here that we've saved on the environment by doing something like this? Is this a generational saving of an environmental impact area?
Oh, totally. You know, it's one of the least protected areas, biomes, high altitude grasslands, and this is that with wetlands, and also escarpment forest. So you've got 3 really threatened biomes that are being protected on this site. So it's very much a good news story.
It is a good news story, and that's why I wanted to talk to you. I mean, apart from the fact the photography in this book by Malcolm Drummond is just phenomenal. Did you take some of the photos?
I took the practical ones, the beautiful ones. At height of construction, there were 5,000 people on site. Wow. And that was one of the things we had to oversee, was that there was as least impact as possible during construction.
So do yourself a favour. I love the title. I know you worked on it for a long time. It's very clever. It's very clever. You should put this on a business card. Of Watts and Wetlands, the story of Ingula by Malcolm Drummond. And what a pleasure to have Malcolm with us. Thank you so much. All the best with the book. And to all the birders, because I can apparently say that now without being smacked, I can say birders. This is really one for you. But anyone really who's interested in conservation and how conservation and big business can actually still work together. It's